The year was 2007, a year riddled with many events that would alter life as we know it today. Steve Jobs and Apple unveiled the very first iPhone, marking a revolution in the mobile phone space. Social media was on the rise as MySpace took over the internet world. Microsoft released their newest version of Windows titled Windows Vista. Senator of Illinois, Barack Hussein Obama, announced his candidacy for presidency of the United States. Barry Bonds broke the MLB home run record set by Hank Aaron in 1974. Two hit children's TV shows, Phineas and Ferb and iCarly, debuted less than a month apart. All of these events would change my life in one way or another, whether directly or indirectly. But none have changed my life nearly as much as what happened on November 1st. But first, let me rewind a year. Nintendo had just released its new flagship console, oddly named the Wii, in November of 2006. It pioneered motion controls as we know them today, and marked a change in direction for Nintendo consoles moving forward. Although it was packaged with one of the most widely recognized games in the world to date, Wii Sports, Nintendo needed another game to test the limits of the Wii. And for the people to buy the game, it needed a recognizable face on the cover. Luckily, Shigeru Miyamoto, the mastermind behind the Mario games, had already been working on a game that could do just that. Beginning after the release of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat on the GameCube in late 2004, Super Mario Galaxy was never meant to be a Wii game to begin with. The idea for the game actually came from a tech demo in 2000 titled Super Mario 128, a play on Super Mario 64. The tech demo included spherical platforms that utilized gravity and allowed the player to stand upside down on the sphere without falling into the void. But there was just one issue with this mechanic. How would the casual player be able to jump on a 3D plane while being upside down in awkward camera angles? This would be way too difficult and would cause most players to quit early on. Takeo Shimizu, the game's producer and programmer, remarked that the most simple action in a 3D platformer was to run. He came to the conclusion that the easiest way to attack would be to spin instead of jump. But since the game was intended to be designed for the GameCube and not the Wii, the spin attack was programmed to be done with the analog stick on the GameCube controller. Then, when it was decided that the game would be released on the Wii, and that there would be motion sensing built into the remote, the developers decided it would be better to program the attack to work with the shake of a Wii remote. After all the dust settled and the game was complete, Nintendo released Super Mario Galaxy on November 1st, 2007. Being that the holiday season was right around the corner, this meant that many kids would be receiving this game for Christmas that year. And sure enough, a little boy named Hunter would be receiving that game too. But what he didn't know at the time is that would be the game that shaped his love for video games and changed the rest of his life. When I first played Super Mario Galaxy, I just remember being excited to play a new game. I was only 4 years old, but my dad loved playing Wii games with me as a kid, so I was already familiar with how a 2D Mario game operated. However, I'd never played a 3D platformer before, and Super Mario Galaxy was the hardest Mario game to date, so I didn't know at the time what I was getting myself into. But I would soon learn what perseverance meant. The game eases you into the controls, first teaching you the gravity mechanic, and then the spin attack. Heck, even the first boss fight is a piece of cake. So 4-year-old me had an easy time through the first few galaxies, making my way through Good Egg Galaxy and Honey Hive Galaxy. But anyone who's played this game knows the struggle of some of the levels in this game. Later in the game came Battle Rock Galaxy. To get one of the stars in Battle Rock, you have to find a green pipe on the bottom of a platform. The pipe takes you to a robot who has a trash problem and just can't seem to get rid of it all. So, the robot tasks you with destroying all the trash. The kicker? You have to precisely throw bombs at the trash in order to destroy it all. Oh, and did I mention there's a strict time limit? And I can't forget about Toy Time Galaxy's Purple Coin Challenge. After completing the final Bowser fight, purple comets appear in different galaxies, marking a new challenge for you to complete. To get the stars, you must go around collecting purple coins around a section of the galaxy. Some have time limits, while others are more of an open world experience. But in Toy Time Galaxy, the Purple Comet's coin run is possibly the most difficult in the game. In order to beat it, you have to collect coins on an 8-bit version of Luigi. Sounds easy enough, right? Well, I didn't mention that there are disappearing tiles, as well as platforms that spin around, and pits of mysterious green goo that if you fall into, you just die. And if you fall through a spinning platform, or fall through a hole where a disappearing tile once was, you have to restart all over again. On top of all that, there's a 3-minute time limit, so you have no time to think about your next move. These are just a few examples of difficult stars to collect in Super Mario Galaxy, but there were so many more that gave me a challenge as a kid. And me being a 4 to 5 year old, I had no patience. So that meant that I would only do the bare minimum to complete the game, skipping any challenge that I deemed impossible. But eventually, I beat the game, and I was happy with myself as a young boy who just beat the hardest game I had ever played before. Fast forward a few years, and I decided I wanted to revisit the old game that made me fall in love with video games in the first place. I had gotten better with difficult controls, and I was better at dealing with challenges and solving problems. But this time, when I returned to the game and started a fresh save, I realized how much I had looked over when I first played the game. Maybe I was too young to notice, or I was just too determined to beat the game. But this time, I surely noticed the details of what made Super Mario Galaxy the perfect game. First thing you're greeted with when you boot up the game on your Wii is the title of the game, Floating in Space, with a triumphant few notes of the title theme, followed by a much more calm and mysterious melody. Every aspect of the game has its own song, including the Wii menu screen before you decide, yeah, that's the game that I want to play. The one that always comes to mind when thinking of Super Mario Galaxy though, is Gusty Garden Galaxy's theme. The song playing in the background of this beautiful garden galaxy makes you feel free to explore. And every other galaxy's theme gives you a different feeling. Honey Hive Galaxy has a laid-back tune, mirroring the personality of the bees that inhabit it. Every Bowser fight has a theme song that lets you know shit is about to hit the fan before you even see it happen. Hell, even the library, where you can read the story of Rosalina and her life, has a somber tone, which fits the story perfectly. And the part that I always missed as a child, but I finally noticed when I played the game recently, is the Comet Observatory theme. When you first visit the Comet Observatory, the song that plays is a simple melody with only a few instruments. But as you collect power stars and power up the ship, instruments are added, and what was once a simple little tune grows into a complex melody, marking the growth of the ship. But not only is the music different in every galaxy, but the surrounding environment is unique too. Sure, there may be a few reused concepts, like ice-themed galaxies, and lots of lava. But there are so many unique ideas in this game, like a galaxy called Space Junk Galaxy, which is dedicated to, you guessed it, trash floating in space. There's a galaxy for every type of environment you could think of: deserts, beaches, grassy plains, frozen wastelands, volcanic masses, literal flying battleships, and so much more. And every single one of those galaxies are so captivating to look at. Some galaxies with grand mountains, others very small and simple, but unique in their own way. Wherever you are in the game, you never feel like you've been here before, except for Gold Leaf Galaxy, which is very similar to Honey Hive Galaxy, but that's alright. 10-year-old me was becoming a completionist in games, so I decided I wasn't satisfied with my work of just doing the bare minimum to complete the game. I embarked on a journey to get all 120 stars in all 42 different galaxies. Probably took me a few weeks to do, but I finally did it. And to my surprise, the game was prepared for me to fully complete it. When I beat Bowser for the final time with all 120 stars collected, I received a reward with a postcard of Mario and Peach in my mail on the Wii menu, with a message thanking me for playing through all the stars. In the game, I unlocked the ability to play with Luigi instead of Mario, who has slightly higher jump in exchange for some slippery movement. Seeing the game reward me for finally completing the game was the best feeling in the world. Reaping the rewards for grinding for so long was a lesson to me that usually the hardest battles offer the greatest rewards in the end. Super Mario Galaxy taught me that nothing easy is worth doing. Sure, beating the game with the minimum star requirement was fun and enjoyable, but it's a completely different feeling when you 100% complete a game and get a message from the developers thanking you, more specifically, for playing through every inch of the game that they worked so hard to perfect. And you know, I always wondered what made this game so special to me. Why was Super Mario Galaxy, of all games, the one that I look so fondly back on? I mean, I played so many games growing up on the Wii. Guitar Hero, Smash Bros. Brawl, Super Mario Sluggers, Wii Sports, and Wii Sports Resort, just to name a few. I even played smaller titles like Boom Blocks, Carnival Games, and Little League World Series Baseball 2008 and 2009. But the one game that always comes to mind when thinking of the Wii is Super Mario Galaxy. It was the first game I truly loved, and even though I didn't understand what a good game was at the time, I think subconsciously I understood the Galaxy was the perfect game. A game you can get lost in. The game that can make you forget about life for just a few hours. A game that offers a flashback to when I was a kid, and the only thing that mattered was school and video games. I think that's why this game means so much to me. Now, as a 21-year-old man, every time I come back to this game, I notice all the small details and appreciate the game more and more. And sure, maybe nostalgia plays a part in why I love this game so much. And I'm sure anyone who grew up playing Super Mario Sunshine or Super Mario 64 has the same feeling that I have for Super Mario Galaxy. But the nostalgia doesn't take away the amount of time and effort the programmers, producers, composers, and graphic designers put into this wonderful game. For a game with 42 different galaxies and 120 stars, and so many cutscenes and Easter eggs, this game is so polished, and in my eyes, it's flawless. No other game has felt like home to me as much as Super Mario Galaxy, and no other game has molded my life quite like this one. And that's why Super Mario Galaxy is the perfect game. Hey, I just want to say if you're still watching this, thanks for watching. This is the first produced video I've made, and I hope you like it. And if you do like it, I've got more coming, so make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thanks.